before September 1st. We offer full school day sections. We do follow the calendar of the Portland Public School District. So the days they have the early release, we do have those too as well. And all our teachers are licensed and educators through the state of the Oregon. We also provide wraparound services to support families with health, nutrition. We have family advocates that work with families to support around that area as well. And also, we also support the entire child and their families by providing services. At each school, we have a person that works with them during their school year with health and nutrition screenings. They also come and do dental and vision checks for the kids, and family advocates will follow up with them on getting them to those dentals in case they need any more services on them or any vision if they need any glasses. Our family advocates will actually reach out to the families and help them advocate for them. And we also have some mental health support. We have developmental assessment. We also place family goal settings with the families. And this wraparound supports helps ensure that basic child and family needs are met so children are better able to learn and thrive. Okay. We also offer different classes, different, we also offer like Spanish immersion classes. We have also a native classroom. We have native Montessori, native classroom too. We also have a BDLI classroom, and that is in Southeast. So we kind of wrap around all the languages. Early learners provide support for dual languages learners and families and integrating home languages and culture into the classrooms and family engagements events. We by that we integrating all child's home language and cultures, engaging family as partners in learning, use culture relevant materials and practices. This also creates a supportive learning environment where children see their identity reflected and respected. And our requirements are in order for them to enroll in the Portland Public Schools pre-K children, they must have to live in the PPS school district boundaries. There is some exceptions. Sometimes if a family have their child care here in the Portland Public School District, we are able to do some exceptions for those. We also have three different fundings, and we have the Preschool for All funds, we have Preschool Promise, and we have Head Start. So we always let families know, no matter if they're over income or they think they don't qualify, to please submit their applications. And the children have to be at least, like I said, 3 years old by September 1st, with some exceptions too. Sometimes if the child turns 3 right after the cutoff date, and if we come back after winter break and we have spaces, we might do an exceptions to actually submit some of those younger 3 years old. Uh, Priority is given to families with the least access. Some priorities population includes low income and some families that are experiencing homelessness, receiving food stamps, TANF, Social Security, or are in foster care. Some families are in refugees, they automatically qualify. For families that are that are homeless and receiving food benefits or TANF, or children in foster care, are prioritized, and those are one of their families that we go with first. The enrollment process, we do have a online process. They can do the online application, but they can also go to one of our sites and do a paper one there. We have family advocates, our sites that can actually have a handout paper ones. Right now, we are actually having open houses in all our sites, and they are posted in all of our schools. Fortunately, I don't have the flyer right now to share with you, but we actually have one at Marysville, and I'll show you right now all the centers that we have in the Portland Public Schools. And then once we get the application, we'll follow up with the family and make sure they we have all the information updated. We make sure we get somebody in their languages, and also there's three of us of the in the enrollment team that do enrollment, and one of us do enrollment for like Southeast. Meyi does Southeast, Ruth does North Poland, and I do Northeast Portland. And if we need the Vietnamese language, we also have somebody to connect them with Vietnamese language, Chinese language, and Spanish language. And then once we get everything updated, we'll get a hold of them and we get the enrollment process. And here is all our locations that we have in the Portland Public Schools. As you can see, we have 14 sites, and on some of them, they are inside our elementary schools, and some of them have their own centers. So one of the schools that have their own centers is Clarendon Early Learners and Creston, Sacagawea, and I believe that's all of them. Yep. And here is our phone number, and that is our email. If you want to share that with your families and have them apply, we just opened our application on March 1st. So we just started our enrollment. So if you want to let them know that they can apply right now, they'll hear from us pretty soon. Okay. Any questions? Sorry, I don't know if I went too fast.
Oh, no, that was perfect, Carmen. Thank you so much. And if you're comfortable, if you could actually share that information or that contact information in the chat, that'd
Okay.
be so great. And then it looks like you had a couple comments in the chat. And then, yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Let me
That was really
stop
great.
sharing. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen. All right, we can keep it rolling. Presenting next, we have Claire with CARES Northwest. Are you ready to go, Claire?
I am. Can you hear me fine?
Perfect. Mhm.
Okay, great. Let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, hi everyone. Good morning. My name's Claire Kelly Sanders. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the prevention health educator at CARES Northwest. Um, let's see. So, if you're not familiar, CARES Northwest is the Children's Advocacy Center that serves Multnomah and Washington counties. CACs are located all around the state. This is kind of the model that we follow in the different services. So, this graphic here shows that we're basically where a family and their child would go where reports of abuse or neglect have occurred. Not all cases move on to a children's advocacy center, but the ones, especially physical or sexual abuse, do, so that we can support the family with next steps. Um, so these are some of the services that we offer. Not all services apply to every family or what a child needs. Of course, it depends on what their experience is, and what support they might need. But we have a full medical team, a family support team, an interviewing team, and then there's also a prevention team. So I'm on the prevention team, including one other person. So there's just two of us. Um, and unlike all of the other services at Caris Northwest, our prevention program is community facing. So, talking with programs that are here today, we do a lot of trainings and other ways to work on prevention strategies, but within the community because we don't work with families directly. And then this is just our service model here. So we basically have like core strategies that we try and approach child abuse prevention with. So we have healthy relationship development, interrupting harmful behaviors, and growing community connection. And we provide that through different audiences. So we know that parents and caregivers also need to continue learning. Many of us did not learn about this stuff when we were younger. And so adults are still needing to hear this content and know the resources available to them. Um, we also want to support parent serving professionals. So we've worked a lot with like parent advocates, family advocates, parent educators at like Head Start programs, for example. Anybody that has that close relationship and they can be able to provide some instruction or resource sharing, whatever it might be to a family, better than we would be able to. And then we also do a lot of work with your youth serving professionals. And most of the time, that looks more like a training. And it might be on healthy relationship development or interrupting harmful behaviors. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about those specific programs here in a sec. Um, and then other than that, we also just try to like bring different organizations together for the same efforts. There's a lot of prevention work happening in the state. Some of it's not called child abuse prevention, but we recognize it as, such as like home visitor networks, right? Like there's all these different programs, so we want to make sure everybody's connected to each other and knows how we can support one another. And then this is just a slide that we show in a lot of our trainings actually to just do like the reframe of what we are talking about when we say preventing child abuse. So we try to move beyond preventing victimization and moving from protection. So that's putting the pressure on kids to constantly protect themselves. And in cases where maybe something has occurred, we don't want kids to feel that they are to blame for that, right? Adults are responsible to be keeping kids safe. In long term, though, we also know that we need to be raising kids to be safe adults and safe teenagers, more importantly. So that's what long-term primary prevention means, is moving beyond just telling kids to protect themselves. And how can we ensure that they have all the skills and the tools to be safe adults in whether it's intimate romantic relationships or within family, ultimately preventing violence throughout all sorts of relationships. The dragons here help you just visualize what we're referring to also is a lot of the times the person that might be abusing a child is someone that looks like this big friendly green dragon here, which means that we can't be telling kids to just distrust strangers, right? Or people that look scary to them, because a lot of the times it is someone that they do know, unfortunately. So we need to also move beyond that story that kids have been taught in the past. Yeah. Okay. And then this is the backside of our service menu. Most of this presentation, I'm kind of just put in a bunch of our handouts basically, which makes it easy. So these are all the different topics that we cover essentially. So when we offer trainings and resources for organizations, you can see all this in blue here. And if there's something that doesn't quite fit in that category and you've been wondering about it, we are happy to talk about it and we would either refer you to someone who does offer it or we would consider offering it for you. We have a couple of very specific, and the formatting's on this super weird, but that's okay. I can explain it. So we have a couple of very specific programs, such as Practices to Prevent Sexual Abuse, a shift in organizational culture. Um, and that is really intended for a youth serving organization of any kind. So that could be a school, an after school program. We just did it with a local church that has a big youth program. So all sorts of ways it can be modified for different organizations. But it's really looking at that adult to youth relationship and how can we be role modeling what that should look like. Kids should be interacting with adults of various relationships, whether it's not just family, but it's also people in other organizations or people or places that they hang out. But how can we make sure that those are safe relationships and not just not causing abuse, but also promoting behaviors and positive things that kids need? Um, and then we offer also kind of an addition to what is often offered through the state on trauma-informed reporting. So when you hear about mandatory reporting training, this is not a replacement for that, but we do offer something to kind of focus on the response and acknowledge that it's a challenging process to go through. If you are the person having to like call something in or a kid discloses to you, or you need to talk to a parent about something. And so we have some ways that we want to just make sure people feel comfortable with that process, as well as where like the Children's Advocacy Center fits into that model. We have also a ton of resources on our website, and I'm actually going to add a bunch more later today. So all of our handouts are on there. We also have a YouTube page that has shorts that we've collected on various topics like body and consent and some recommendations for age groups. We have a quarterly newsletter. We do a lot of messaging and events, and I'm going to talk about April here in just a sec. So this is a bit more about those programs I was talking about. So this top one is the one for organizations. And we have one coming up on April 6th, and it's going to be virtual. So someone from a youth serving organization can register themselves. Um, and then we also have a middle school program, or roughly for the ages 10 to 15 years old. So if you work at a program, then you would like some material, especially engaging activities, something that you could modify and fit into your current programming. We also have that available, and I'm happy to talk more about that separately. And then we have a series also that we encourage for parents and caregivers, including grandparents. So we call that the Connect and Empower Body Safety and Healthy Relationship series. So these are topics that we feel are really important for parents to be just getting some continued education on. We would keep them to short presentations, offer a lot of conversation so that we can talk about what's actually happening, and make it fit to different age groups. And this is just a slide about the training on April 6th, and you can find this on our website. So I'm going to skip ahead so I don't spend too much time on it. And then something else I want to mention is April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. So this is perfect timing to join the March presentation, focused on child and families. So if you're already an organization that does something for Child Abuse Prevention Month, kudos to you. Thank you. Most of the time you see blue pinwheels planted around town, maybe. And so that's kind of like an awareness event, right? But what we really want to encourage is for organizations of really any kind, to do something a little bit more than that too, whether it is offering like connection for parents, or it is an activity for kids to learn about something, or if it's just passing out a coloring sheet, something else just to elevate the message a little bit more. So we actually made a toolkit that you can find on our website. It's just a Canva document, so you would make a copy of it and you can use the tools in there as much as you would like, even if it's just giving you some ideas. This is in the toolkit, so if you want to kind of learn about some ways your organization could get more engaged in CAP Month, we broke it up into different categories here. So awareness and visibility, connection and engagement, policy and culture, and education and learning. And then explain a bit more about why these types of activities matter. Whether it is just strengthening and refreshing your commitment to child abuse and keeping kids safe, or tying that even more to what your organization's mission is, if it's about supporting parents, um, making sure that your practices and your policies are also like effective and that you are practicing them day to day. And also maybe consider some creative expression or ways to engage with your youth or the families that you work with, what things could be improved. Yeah, there are some good ideas in there. And if you are doing something for April, I would love to hear it in the chat, actually. That would be fun for me just to know. This is a bit about some of the handouts that are available online. We have our family safety tips to prevent sexual abuse handout, and it's actually been translated into a few languages. Thank you to PPS's early learning program. Um, we have a book list. We have body autonomy, consent. We also have some more handouts for like older youth, including some teenagers. But really just want to encourage that if you can't do anything for April besides maybe send an email out with some resources, then that's like an awesome, huge step. Like, don't assume that people have this information or that they're asking for information from a trusted resource. We really try and make material engaging, look pretty, hopefully, so someone doesn't just toss it in the trash. So please use things that are accessible to you and share them widely with families. This is another example of something we put in the toolkit. You could just print out a poster, has a QR code to our learning library. Yeah, a couple of different things. You could edit these if you wanted. Okay, and I made it to the end of my slideshow.
Thank you so much, Claire. Those are some really awesome resources and trainings. And yeah, it looks like you got some questions in the chat, or in comments in the chat.
Great.
So feel free to address those, and we'll keep it rolling.
Yeah,
Thank you
perfect.
again,
Thank
Claire.
you.
Of course. All right, next up we have Sarah with Northwest Pandas or PANS Network.
Great. Can
Are
you
you
hear me
ready,
okay?
Sarah? I can hear you a little quiet, but I can see your presentation.
Okay. How about now? Am I okay?
A little better.
Okay. I'll just try to speak up. Thanks so much for having us today. I'm here to talk about pandas.
Just a second. I think that, is it still really quiet for everyone? Yeah, I think so. I don't want to miss what you have to say, Sarah.
Let's see. I might have to. This was an issue earlier, so I'm not sure what to do about it.
Mm.
If anyone has any tips, I would take them.
No worries. Take your time. We'll get it figured out. I just want to make sure people can hear what you have to say.
There may be a setting that you can use to increase the sensitivity of your microphone.
Ah, I know they've added the noise suppression recently, so that's a good point. Oh, she's going to jump back in, maybe.
I love seeing all these tips and tricks in
I
the chat.
know.
I'm gonna take some notes.
Mm-hmm.
And while we wait for Sarah to return again, Claire, all those great resources and flyers, please feel free to send those to our newsletter, and we can house those on our biweekly newsletter as well.
Maybe let's just give her another minute or so. Technology can be our best friend and our not so best friend. Maybe Claire could answer a couple of those questions in the chat if you're still on.
Maybe I missed what the question was. I thought some of these questions were about early learning.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Okay.
Carmen, maybe is Carmen still on? No. Okay. Okay.
All right. In the meantime, we
Oh.
can we'll just wait for Sarah to hop back on, and then we'll kind of switch slots around. So Nicole with Black Affinity Group, are you here and ready to present?
As ready as I'm going to be. Let me go ahead and bring up my slideshow. Okay, I am technologically challenged too, so there we go. Okay, let's see. All right. Can everybody see this?
We can.
Cannot?
Yep, we can. Looks great.
Oh, okay. Stop. Okay, 1 second. And to start from the beginning. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm with the Black Affinity Group. My name is Nicole Williams, and um, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so the Black Affinity Group, we started in I started doing this work in like 2020, but we've only been a 501c3 since last April. I was fiscally sponsored by the first by the uh, Chapman PTA and then by the Jefferson High School PTA. I really lucked out there because once the treasurer's kid graduated, she decided she'd be the treasurer for my nonprofit. So I was like, that is outstanding. So definitely take care of your treasurer. So about me, I'm a mom, an activist, sister, daughter. A big reason for starting this organization is because the only person who's actually alive in these pictures are me and my brother who's sitting down. My sister Denise died of breast cancer when I was like 19, chasing her dream still, but cancer got a hold of her and so she passed. And then my brother Keith, the one with his hands up, he's pretty much like the catalyst because for me getting this started because he died at 55 in 2021 from a heart attack. And I was just like, well, I'm 40. I was like, if I even live to be 55, that's 15 years that I can like do something about my goals and try to make the world a better place. So I decided, I was like, let's just go ahead and do it. I think once people reach 40, they feel like they can't try new things or do new things. Or maybe that's just me. And then my other brother, the one with the tie, he actually was addicted to crack. So he did a lot of things to a lot of armed robberies and breaking into houses and things like that to feed his addiction. And sadly, he died 2 years ago. And I just always thought maybe if there was programs like the Black Affinity Group when he was coming up, maybe he would have been able to like stay out of the system, or at least that there were like some other options. And so we do a lot of different programs. We have Black Affinity groups in schools. I advise people on how to do Black Affinity groups if they're like at a place where there's not a lot of cultural support. Most of my work has been in Southwest and Southeast, where I started affinity groups at the schools while I was still working for Impact Northwest and the SUN program. And then my kids actually went to school in Northwest Portland, where, again, not a lot of services for the Black kids that are in that neighborhood. So in the affinity groups, we do Black affinity groups, K through 12. We also, for kids who identify as Black or part Black, but then we also have another group called Mixed Messages. I am biracial, but I was raised by a Black family. A lot of kids, for example, this Damien kid, he really enjoys going to the Mixed Messages groups because he feels out of place being half Vietnamese, half Mexican, going to like the Latinx group and then going to like the Asian group, like having to like explain themselves. Or we have children who are white presenting who have a biracial parent or they're biracial themselves and they just don't feel like they fit in. And, you know, I didn't think that this space was needed so young, but after interviewing a lot of adults who are biracial, it was evident that it was. And it was just like, I should really start a space for kids to like know who they are, know that they're a whole person and be able to talk about it. Even if the kids aren't of the same racial background, being biracial is a community within itself. I did do a video. I don't know if we have time to show it. It is 5 minutes. We do or do not?
Actually, if you could just share the link to the video, that would be
That's
great.
fine. I will move on. It's really good.
We'll have to check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, it just talks about like the history of like the one drop rule and how we plan to We're trying to offer the mixed messages groups to more adults to kind of like work through that trauma. But it's a really new concept. So people, aren't quite used to that yet or used to the need. We did have a mother-son dance, and that was really great. We had a barber show up, a nail tech. We had someone teaching the dances, and it was just really like a reversal of the father-daughter dance where you don't see a lot of I've never seen a mother-son dance. So we had that at Kellogg on the last day of Black History Month. And so they all got to learn like different like line dancing. We had someone coach them and with the fans and everything. We have our gifting event coming up in December, Young Kings gifting event. This is for boys who are 13 and up, because a lot of us being a part of like nonprofit networks and social services, a lot of the gifting programs stop at age 12. And I'm a board member, a admin on Black Portland. And a couple years ago, a mom was like, where can I find gifts for my 15-year-old and whatever? So I was like, I'm just going to try to do something like that, because the expenses of teenagers doesn't go away. They actually want stuff that's like way more expensive. And I'm glad they think they can get it, but just saying. So it's for boys 13 and up. What we do is we have a on point branch manager comes, and he talks a little bit about money literacy, financial literacy. We make the initial deposit of $25 for their On Point savings program, and then On Point kicks in $55, and the interest rate is pretty good. It's like 5% up to $500. So they get a bank account. They get to come and like have fellowship with Black men from the community. Their moms or their parents get to go into a separate room and shop for them as like a free store. With that, I generally try to get buy as many of our items from local Black owned businesses to kind of help keep the money in the community. But it's really good fun. Like we've had Porque No cater it, and just mad junk food, and we talked to them about just basically just being able to like have fellowship, because of a lot of our programs are actually based on Black male youth, again going back to my brother's situation. And so so we're going to have our third one this year, and it's going to be great. And I'm kind of going back and forth, but mixed messages, we are going to have our second screening of The Loving Story on June 11th. Last year was at McMenamins Kennedy School, and the Supreme Court case is Loving versus Virginia, 1967. This couple that's pictured here, they had to move out of Virginia to not go to jail because their marriage was considered illegal in the state of Virginia. So they had to move away for like almost 10 years. After that, we have a Q&A panel, but like you get free food and you just get to the knowledge, and it's just a really good event. This year I'm hoping to include the kids more by having like a mixed messages pictorial about their experience being mixed kids and having interracial parents. So yeah, and it was a really good thing. So we're going to do that again this year on June 11th, I think. So this is like our biggest program. It's called Get Ready, Stay Ready. Get Ready, Stay Ready is a space for Black and brown boys aged 10 to 17. They are divided into groups by age, but they go and learn different life skills. So as you can see in here, they painted this. The last one just happened on Saturday, but they painted. They learned how to make pie because it was Pie Day. But we have them here making mac and cheese. We do self-care where they learn how to make a tie. They've got their cute eye masks on, nail care, self-defense. We had that one this time, but usually we have like, the things that I've mentioned, but also like we've had fish dissection, we've had learning how to balance a checkbook, we've had making a food budget, just basically things that you don't get taught in school, and basically things that a male figure can teach you. Um, there was some shoving going on this time, so we are really going to try to get into like the manners and stuff. We did learn how to address an envelope, which a lot of kids don't know how to do. Which they probably haven't had to mail a letter yet, but just kind of like those old school things that I think will like the need will never go away. So we've had 4 of those. Our next one is in May. So in May we have that coming up. June we have the Loving Day screening, and we have a Juneteenth celebration. And then we're back in August with the Get Ready, Stay Ready workshop. So we try to have them 4 times a year. And another thing, the majority of the teachers are Black men from the community. So we value having Black men from different job sectors, but we also value having men with lived experiences in the system. Because I feel like if you're going to talk to the kids about prison prevention, you should at least, have had the experience and know, because they'll probably be more likely to, take that to heart if it comes from someone who has a lived experience and who also looks like them. So this is a big reason why we have these groups. Black boys definitely tend to be adultified at a younger age and pose more of like a false threat to people. And so how they show up is important. Unfortunately, that is the case for a lot of our Black male youth. I definitely know that Black boys who are autistic tend to be viewed as more like troublemakers as opposed to like white boys who are autistic. And I'm not trying to generalize. This is like from working in like grade schools and middle schools and seeing how there's not a lot of support for these kids. But yeah, so we are donation based. I'm currently not getting paid to do this work. So if you know of any grants or sponsorships available, that would be great. Also, we have an Amazon wish list, but yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you so much, Nicole. I really appreciate it. And I'm hoping I dropped the link to the YouTube video or to the Mixed Messages web page where you can find the YouTube video. So I hope that's the right link. If not, that would be great if you could share that with us in the chat. Yeah, and any questions that you have for Nicole, please direct them to her in the chat. And it looks like we have a lot of people wanting to engage with you. So if you could also leave your contact information in there, that'd be great, just so people can connect with you. Yeah. And
no, we're actually not having anything for like Black girls at this point. But I do know some organizations that do help Black youth. But if they're like biracial, obviously they can join Mixed Messages. I would love to do the changing of attire. I have not been able to engage with a mechanic yet. There's also like some liability there, but yeah, I mean, we tried to do the reading the tire gauge, but yeah, replacing oil, showing the kids the difference between dirty and clean oil, that would be great. So if you're interested in helping with that, I'm definitely, down for that. And how do folks get involved? I will send you all of my information. And yes, that is the link to the video.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nicole. I really appreciate you sharing about all these awesome groups, and programs. A lot of awesome work you're doing. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. And we are, Nicole, if you could also stop sharing your screen so we can keep it rolling here. Thank you so much. And we are a little bit behind schedule, but I do still want to make some time for Sarah. I think she's hopped back on.
Let's see. Can you hear me now?
I can. Yeah, it sounds great.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, take it away.
And you said keep to 5 to 7 minutes, so I will try to do my best on that. Okay, so thanks for having us. I'm here today to talk about pandas and pans. The title is What Happened to My Child. I'm the executive director and co-founder of the Northwest Panda Pans Network. We serve Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and Newly, Alaska. And then what happened to my child? So we have thousands of children in our state and others who are having psychiatric and neurological manifestations after an infection. Most of these children are being misdiagnosed as psychiatric or behavioral health cases or overlooked altogether. And we hear from families every single day that ask us what happened to my child. So if you haven't heard of pandas and pans before, you're not alone. They were discovered in the late 90s. What happens is a kid gets an infection, they have an immune response that's launched, but they have autoantibodies that develop and attack a region of their brain known as the basal ganglia. And what happens is their brain is inflamed and they have an abrupt onset of psychiatric symptoms, tics, or eating restrictions. And so I don't have a whole lot of time to go over criteria. We do free presentations for our community, but I think the big takeaway is when a child or adolescent or even young adult goes from being healthy, happy, going to school, normal, to having an abrupt onset of psychiatric symptoms or behavioral health changes, that is something where we should be considering pandas and pans. The conservative estimate is that 1 in 200 children are affected. This is some of the examples of the abrupt changes that can happen even in their fine motor skills. So we do a lot of education within our school systems to be looking for these kids because, again, most of them are misdiagnosed as psychiatric or behavioral, but they actually need medical intervention and treatment. This is another example of a panel A, the kid who has a messy drawing, and then after treatment, they are back to their baseline. We go over this with teachers in our school settings. Again, these kids will present with an unusual margin drift. This is due to that brain inflammation. So all of a sudden, a kid's handwriting has changed as well. Many of these families have so many barriers to obtaining a diagnosis. Really, what it comes down to is a lack of awareness within our communities, even our medical communities. And so that is what our organization has worked since 2019 to change. Research is evolving quickly. Is a clinical diagnosis, meaning they can't just run a lab test and confirm it. They really have to find a very knowledgeable provider who is aware of the clinical diagnostic criteria and can diagnose the child in front of them. A lot of pandas and pans providers are private pay, so it can, have this health disparity on who can access care and who can't. And again, misdiagnosis is common. The most common trigger for this to happen is a strep infection, like literally strep throat, but it can also be caused by other infections as well. And so this is just to give you a high level overview of what the treatment is for these disorders. And again, it is because of brain inflammation, not because they have a psychiatric disorder. And so treatment can be things like antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, literally round the clock ibuprofen for a kid who starts to have OCD and anxiety abruptly and has pandas and pans can diminish their symptoms. Some of the higher line treatments are IVIG and plasmapheresis. I won't get into those, but again, I just want to highlight that these are medical treatments, medical interventions. And so who we are, we're the local nonprofit. We have supported thousands of families to date who either suspect this diagnosis or have it confirmed. The most important thing we help families with is finding a knowledgeable provider. So we have a list of all kinds of providers that they can see. We do have some that take insurance and take Medicaid. We do free education. We're free conference presenters. We offer a grant program twice a year, and we advocate at the state level for recognition, but also access to treatment for all of our kids. And again, I want to highlight this doesn't just happen in young kids. It can happen in middle school, high school, and even in college. Let's see if I can go to the next slide. This is us several years ago with then Governor Kate Brown signing a permanent awareness day in the state of Oregon. So these disorders are recognized by the state of Oregon. After 14 months, we were able to advocate and change Medicaid coverage so that they would cover some of the higher line treatments, which can cost thousands of dollars out of pocket. We wanted to make sure that those on Medicaid had access. And then we then passed Senate Bill 628, which mandated both private and commercial insurance companies to do the same. And there's been 15 states in the nation to do so far. Why should we care? anyone here that's working with children or adolescents, these children and families are suffering. Children shouldn't be healthy one day and psychiatric the next. Undiagnosed or undertreated children consume more health care. They require more school supports like 504s and IEPs, and they necessitate a high level of caregiver support. There is a huge health inequity as far as who can access medically competent care. We have a lack of treating providers in the Northwest, and untreated health consequences can be lifelong mental illness, issues with the justice system, permanent brain damage, and suicide. And so really, if you're working with adolescents, with children, and you notice an abrupt onset of psychiatric symptoms, disordered eating, which can look like anorexia, ARFID, or tics, if parents or caregivers come to you and they say, I don't know what happened to my child, but they are extremely different and they're presenting with all of these weird symptoms, think about PANDAS and PANS. If you know a kid who's in psych treatment, they're on SSRIs, they're on psychotic medications, and they're not getting any better. In fact, they could be getting worse. It could be because they're dealing with brain inflammation. And again, looking for a recent infection prior to that change. And referring families to us so that they can get to medically competent care. So if you work with children, youth, and or young adults, it's vital to learn about these disorders, to be part of the solution. We don't want these kids wrapped up in the justice system or institutionalized. We offer free in-person or virtual presentations. You can email us or visit our website. On our Contact Us page is a link to request a free presentation. And our website is www.nwppn.org. Okay, I hope I kept that to my time limit.
That was
Thank you,
perfect,
guys.
Sarah. Thank you so much. And thank you and to our presenters for being so flexible, just so we can make sure that these programs and resources are out there and people are aware. And thank you for your ongoing advocacy. If you could leave your contact information in the chat for folks to be able to reach out to you, that would be so great. And yeah, thank you again. Happy you're able to hop back on. All right, we'll keep it moving. Cynthia with Tualatin Hills Parks and Recreation District, you're up next.
Perfect. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay. Could you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay. Let's see. Let me go back. Oh, haha. Forgot to click the share button. Here we go.
Looks great.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you everyone for allowing me to kind of present a little bit on Tualatin Hills Park and Recreation District. My name is Cynthia Rodriguez Mendez. I'm the Equity and Belonging Specialist at the Park District, and I also oversee Centro de Bienvenida, which is a registration event that I will be going over briefly, and our financial aid program. All right, so if you all know us, we are Tualatin Hills Park and Recreation District. We are the largest special district in Oregon, and we are serving right now more than 250,000 residents in the greater Beaverton area. Our district boundaries are similar to the Beaverton School District, however, they slightly change, and that is just all due to property taxes. So those other areas that we are considered within our residence or within our district is areas of Portland and some areas of Aloha as well. I did want to let you all know, because this will be in the May ballot for voters to vote on, is we are going for a replacement bond here in May. The primary focus of the measure is to repair and maintain the park systems that we already have. So this bond would fund the next 20 years of our safety improvements, which could look like repairing our parks, trails, boardwalks, recreation centers, pools, playgrounds, equipment. We would also address safety and accessibility concerns. So similar to the work done in the schools, which is upgrading the lighting, replacing aging security, fire systems, and building infrastructure. So just wanted to let you all know about that. And if you have questions in regards to that, you can visit our website as well. And so this just kind of shows some of the things that are currently happening throughout our park district. So if it does pass, these could potentially help replace some of these structures. Okay, so what we have, so we are a park and recreation. So we have all sorts of activities for youth, families. Anyone is welcome to our spaces. The spaces that we do have, we have more than 100 parks, more than 160 natural areas, lots of trails, 8 pools, 2 of those that are outdoor pools. So those are just open in the summer months, and 6 registration or recreation centers. We do have mobile recreation services. Not sure if you are aware of these. 2 of which are the most popular is our Recmobile. This is free youth activities. Recmobile is a vehicle that goes into the communities and goes to events. So if you have any events that are coming up and you would like them to be there, they are more than welcome to join you, as long as the event is open to the public and it is within our district boundaries. Any of these services can be there at your event. Recmobile does like face painting, arts and crafts with the kiddos. They can do obstacle courses and sports. They also have a bouncy house, so that is pretty popular as well when it comes to these coming up summer months. And Naturemobile is more of a hands-on exploration of pelts, skulls, and natural specimens. So that is more nature-based education. And both of these services have done a lot of work with the community. They have ongoing partnerships and collaborations as well with various partners of ours. Inclusion services, we do have a Department of Inclusion Services, those that know us. We have wheelchair basketball, specific therapeutic recreation, which we call TR nights for adolescents or teens. We have camps during our summer, which is at our Jenkins Estate, the popular Rivendell camp, and all sorts of other services with inclusion if needed. And we also do have inclusion assistance. So if the families do need that support, there is a form, and our service department can help fill that out and get the child with a assistant of ours to go to their classes if needed. Volunteer opportunities. So this is one that my colleague Melissa Markham could not unfortunately be here, but she is our volunteer specialist and in charge of our volunteer department. We have various volunteer opportunities with us, and this is a great way for youth, you know, teens, anybody that's in high school that needs that those volunteer hours. They can come and volunteer with us, whether it's a one-day event or ongoing. Throughout the year, they can get that those skills and leadership opportunities to then be able to perhaps join the workforce once they're, you know, at that age. So the RISE Youth Leadership Program is for anyone that's 13 and above. They do have to commit to working 80 hours of service within a year of their start date. And this program really, they do get an initial training as to what is a volunteer and other opportunities, some of which they have had opportunities to lead a class on computer basics and cybersecurity to our 55 and better communities. So that was a great classes led by these RISE volunteers. We also have Junior Lifeguard Program, which is a 12 and up program. This program is for anyone that's really interested in becoming a lifeguard. It is kind of builds those skills and experience to then be able to possibly have a lifeguard staff position at the age of 16. And they do not necessarily need to have swimming experience. They can also learn to swim while they are doing this training and program. And currently right now we are looking for volunteer coaches at our track and field, which is at the Cedar Hills Recreation Center. And we are also looking for volunteer spring basketball coaches as well. Centro de Bienvenida. So I mentioned this a little earlier. This is because we're recreation and we have registration happening 4 times a year. This registration is a specialized registration event for anyone that's an English language learner, anybody that's on our financial aid program, or anyone that has a disability can come to this Centro de Bienvenida event where they can get help one-on-one with our staff to register for programs and classes or ask those more in-depth questions that they would not be able to kind of get, a little help more on. This event always happens 3 days before our registration in district days. So in district registration is Saturday, April 11th for those that live within the district boundaries. So this event coming up for summer is April 8th through the 10th. And it used to be a drop-in event, but because of the climate with everything that's happening around our community, we have pivoted and it is now an appointment-based only event. So families are really encouraged to make an appointment. Financial aid program. So this is exciting for me because I also lead this program. Right now, this is one of the district priorities is to have funding available for those families that without, the support wouldn't be able to kind of come and walk into our spaces and have that opportunity to recreate. So the district is awarding $300 per each family member. This means that if you have a family of 4, they could potentially have $1,200. And with that money, they can use to come and register for swimming lessons, art classes, camps that are coming up in the summer. Any of our programs, you name it, they can register and use these funds for that. The funds are not attached to each person, so it is just one virtual gift card that's attached to their account, and they can use it however they wish. And one thing that people don't really know about this program is not only can you pay for classes and programs, you can also use it on sports leagues. So we are affiliated with various outside organizations on sports. So this can help to pay for that registration fee for that season for the league. And you can also use it on room rentals, birthday party packages that we have, outdoor spaces that you're looking for. You can use the funds to pay for that. And our community gardens that not a lot of people know. We do have various community gardens, so this can help to pay for that plot fee if you wish. The only thing about this program is you do have to live within the district boundaries, and there are eligibility requirements found on our website. And if you have any questions, you can always call our administration office. People there also speak Spanish. So if you do have Spanish-speaking families, they can call our general administration office. Our financial aid information is there, volunteer opportunities if you're interested, and inclusion services. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Cynthia. I really appreciate you sharing about those wide array of services. There are a couple questions in the chat, so feel free to address those in the chat, and we'll keep rolling.
Thank you.
All right, Leanne with Family Skill Builder Services, you're up.
Okay, I'm slowly unmuting. Can everyone hear me? I hope. Give me a thumbs up if you can.
Sounds great.
Excellent, thank you. Can you see my screen?
No, we cannot see your screen. Oh, it looks like you froze a bit, Leanne.
Are you able to say skill? Okay.
Yeah, it looks like you're breaking up a little bit.
It might just take.
Let me see. Yeah, we can't hear you very well. It's glitching a bit
probably
as well.
Transferring. Let's
see. Yeah, it looks like if you turn off your video, that might help.
I'm not sure you hear me, but it's supposed to. Okay.
We can hear you a bit clearer.
Okay.
And if you're having any difficulty presenting or anything, just let me know and I can pull up your presentation on my end.
Yeah, let's do that because it's showing unstable network connection at this point. Oh my
All
goodness.
right. Let's see.
Having technical issues today. I'm going to do a stop share so that you can share.
Sounds good. All right, give me just a sec. All right, and can you see that okay?
Let's see.
All right, I have it up on my
Okay, great.
screen.
Yay.
Just let me know
Excellent.
when to move
Okay,
forward,
yeah,
and I can do that for
I
you.
know we're trying to do this quickly, so let's go to the next screen. I'll do a quick summary. I'm Leanne Hartman with Family Skill Builders. I've been with Family Skill Builders for about 5.5, almost 6 years. We are a 501c3. You can go ahead and skip to the next slide. We are a 501c3, like I think most of us here. We didn't start off that way. We were founded in 2002. We became a nonprofit in 2021. As always, all of our services are free to all families. We serve 3 counties currently: Multnomah, Clackamas, and Washington counties. We serve all people, all families. The only thing someone has to have in their life is a child. So if they have a child in their life, either as a parent, a guardian, or in some way they are supporting that child, they're welcome. We bring them in and we provide the services to them. We have a variety of services. We'll go ahead and skip the vision. You can see that on our website later if you'd like. Let's skip to the next slide. Our goal and purpose is always to make sure that children and adults are safe. So we are about child abuse and domestic violence abuse prevention. We have several programs related to that. Safe Connection is specifically in Clackamas County. I'm going to skip over that quickly and focus on groups and prevention services. We also do work directly with ODHS Child Welfare in those 3 counties. Those are contracted services, so referrals come through them. Let's skip to the next one and start talking about our groups and prevention programs. So groups are peer groups. These are parent groups. They are small groups, typically 3 to 6 families. The goal here is to be able to share information with the individuals, supporting them in a variety of ways. So we are trying to increase their healthy parenting skills from where they come to us with all the skills they've got. Try to really improve and increase their capacity so they feel confident as parents. They're often struggling with perhaps a former case with an open case in child welfare. They still have that stigma. They may be carrying a lot of other weights as well. And so we are there to provide beneficial visitation time with their children if they're currently separated from their children, or if they are seeking stabilization, we're going to offer those skills as well. So again, it's about peer support as well. That's the difference between this program and our individual in-home programs. In those cases, we're working customized with that family. These are more curriculum and skills-based services where individuals get to learn from each other. They're often sharing many of the same struggles. They can share resources with each other. And these are programs that are offered either on-site, perhaps in a shelter, or they may be on-site in one of our other centers. We work with a lot of different partners. So that's our groups. I'd like to talk about our individual services next. Let's go to the next slide. So prevention services, when we talk about prevention, again, we're trying to prevent the things that can really harm families. And we're trying to keep them out of the system. When we say the system, we mean specifically child welfare and the justice systems. That's our goal. We really don't want families to experience that. If they've already experienced it, we're going to be there to support them to be able to maintain their families so they don't have to have those experiences again. As you can see, our goals are very similar to what we've heard from many of the organizations here. We are about positive attachment. We want parent and child to bond. We know that is going to be the best way for that child to ultimately be a supportive parent in their own life, to be able to walk through the world in a strong way. If the parent can feel strong, the child will feel strong. We're going to decrease the ACE scores. We want to see that trauma is reduced. We want to assist them with basic needs. Often they come through the door and they don't even know what we offer. They simply need housing. Simple. Not so simple, we know, but that's what they're really seeking is initially housing. And then once we get them to that point, then we can start talking about parenting skills. You can't talk about parenting skills if the parent can't put food on the table or can't provide shelter and they're living in a car. So we know those are the basic needs first. We work with partners to make sure that families get those services. We are very good advocates. We've been doing this for a long time. We know where to go and we know who to complain to if things aren't happening. So that is really what we're offering. We are coming side by side with those parents in their home and community. We have to build rapport with them initially. Often they've never worked with someone outside. They may feel very uncomfortable with that. So our goal is to get them to the point where they can see us as a partner. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Parents as Teachers is a specific curriculum you may be familiar with. We started offering this in 2025. Specifically, it's longitudinal programs. It's designed to work with a family from the time of pregnancy until the child starts kindergarten. So that's a long period of time. We have several families we're working with currently. It is a wonderful, it's a worldwide program based in the United States here. And what we're finding is it offers us a curriculum that is very stable and offers significant improvements for the families we work with. Families can stay with us as long as they have a child. Again, preterm could be a child that is a parent that's pregnant, all the way until they have a child. Their youngest child actually is entered kindergarten. So that gives us a really long time with families. It's a lot of commitment for the family, but it's also a lot of commitment for our staff. However, so far it's going very well, and we're really excited about offering that. Let's go to the next piece. So the last piece really is just questions. As you've been told, you need to go ahead and put that in the chat. The best way to reach out to us is at info@familyskillbuilders.org. Again, info@familyskillbuilders.org. Or you can reach out directly to me as well. I'm happy to help. You can reach me at office@familyskillbuilders.org. Any of us would be happy to get you to the right place if you'd like to refer yourself or someone else. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Leanne. Really appreciate that. And yeah, any questions that come in, please feel free to direct those to the chat. And yeah, thank you for everyone for being so gracious as we're a little bit behind schedule, but again, really awesome resources that we're sharing about. We'll keep it moving. Katie, you're up with Washington County Kids.
Hi, everybody. I'm not sure whether this is, does this show the presenter's view or does it show the whole thing? The whole slide?
Yeah, it shows the whole thing. If you actually go up to the display settings, right there, yeah, and then I believe you can swap the presenter view and that should only display the PowerPoint.
Okay, I think we're okay. Okay. But it does show just the PowerPoint, right?
We can see the PowerPoint. Yeah, we can see the notes area, but it's not too much of a bother. Okay. Whatever you're comfortable with. Yeah, if you do that swap.
Okay, how's that? Oh, this is not going to work. I'm sorry.
No, you're all good. We're having fun with the technology today.
Yeah. No, that's not good because I can't advance. I'm sorry.
It's all good. And if I need to, I have your slideshow as well. So I can also pull that up on my end if needed.
Okay. Okay, how's that? No, it's still showing the wrong thing.
Looks great.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you can go ahead and show it and I'll just tell you when to make the changes.
Sounds good. Give me just a second.
So sorry.
No, you're all good.
Technologically challenged. I thought I had it down, but I don't. Anyway, I'm Katie Riley and I'm with Washington County Kids, and we are working to increase access to quality out-of-school time programs that equip Washington County children and youth for success. My own background is I am vice president and actually founder of Washington County Kids. I'm retired from UCLA and also OHSU assistant, where I was an assistant professor of public health and preventive medicine. And if you go to the next slide, oh my, 1, 2, 3, okay. Okay. So Washington County has one of the largest youth populations in the state of Oregon. About 36% of the population in Washington County is kids from 0 to 17, and 26% of the population is school age. Go to the next slide. So research on non-school programs shows that early childhood programs prepare kids for school, and then students who regularly attend after-school programs tend to do better in school. They improve their grades, their test scores, and they tend to be likely to graduate more on time. And the next slide. Out-of-school time programs, which means programs that are not happening when kids are not in school. They tend to prevent crime and also victimization. So kids are not just home by themselves or wandering the streets. Programs that include STEM, of course, are more likely to encourage career directions in STEM. And then also these kind of programs can prevent summer slide. The recent findings in research about the adolescent brain have shown that the adolescent brain is very malleable and changing. This is actually the second most active time in the development of the brain, and that is occurring during those periods of adolescent change. And it's an opportunity for kids to take risks and yet learn during that time. When we have after school and other enrichment programs, they also add on to gains that kids might have experienced from early learning. Next slide. If kids are unsupervised, they are definitely at risk, but it's also a missed opportunity. This is an opportunity for us to help kids get exposed to more positive experiences and to develop more in terms of community interaction. Next slide. Benefits is out-of-school time programs, of course, that they prepare kids for school, and they give connections with consistent adult role models. And they also provide care while parents are at work, which is safe and reliable. And it also sustains development for kids while they're in school and promotes adolescent development and eventual career success. Next slide. And as we all know, if you have better success academically, you have a lifelong economic advantage as well. Next slide. We've done community conversations throughout Washington County in focus groups and a survey. And our results, next slide, is that people often have a lack of information about programs that are available. And so they also experience a problem of not being able to get into programs due to high cost, inaccessible, such as not having enough spaces, or they're unavailable at times that are convenient for people. So there may be mismatches between the programs, the parents, and child schedules. And there may be a lack of diversity of program content, so that some kids may need to have more emphasis on, say, STEM or art, or even some culturally specific programs as well. We have a large lack of that kind of diversity in Washington County. And there are, so there's also inadequate programming for specific populations. Next slide. So the current systems, we do have an early learning system. Youth enrichment is a little less available. So we'll go into the next slide. And in Washington County, we have an early learning hub. And here we have active Head Start, Early Head Start, the Oregon Child Development Coalition, Preschool Promise, Baby Promise, ERDC, which is, I'm blanking early,
Employment related
daycare, sorry. And that was recently, funding was recently expanded a bit on that because we have a deficit in terms of availability for that. CCR&R is actually the operation of providing training for staff, and that is located within Community Action in Washington County. Next slide. And one of the problems is that in youth enrichment, we do not have any kind of overall coordination. Washington County Kids, our nonprofit, which has had we were founded in 2009. We had nonprofit status beginning in 2018. Before that, we were fiscally sponsored by Impact Northwest. Thank you. We interact a lot with private providers as well as nonprofit providers as well. And these programs can be full-time after-school programs or limited time programs such as tutoring in reading or tutoring in math, those kind of programs, as well as other enrichment programs such as art, etc. But they are not available for everybody throughout the county. There is a limited amount of space. And also there are the barriers that I had talked about earlier. Summer Learning, which was a program that was funded by the state in 2007, no, 2000, it was Senate Bill 2007, but it was beginning this past year by the state, and that provided 3 years of funding. Next slide. So the system has no overall coordination from the beginning through college education. There is no sustainable funding, and this is also a problem. So this is where Washington County Kids comes in. Next slide. So our current initiative is we have founded the Washington County Kids OST Alliance, where we're building a coalition with providers to increase access to OST programs. And this unites our provider partners and also stakeholders to strengthen, collaborate, and expand membership and visibility, and to build shared communication and advocacy efforts. We offer monthly focus meetings to discuss common issues with providers. We also offer training for staff of providers on behavioral strategies. And we work with providers as well as others to weigh in on legislation which may affect them. We are having an after-school summit on April 24th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It'll be held at the Northwest Regional ESD office. And if people are interested, they can register. There's a QR code on the screen there. This is particularly of interest to other providers of after-school and specialized trainings for kids who are in after-school programs. And we are primarily serving Washington County. unfortunately. So we are not available for others, but we welcome any kind of questions. We could go to the next slide, and my contact information is listed there, Katie at WashingtonCountyKids.org or info at WashingtonCountyKids.org. Our website is a little out of date right now, is WashingtonCountyKids.org. We are in the process of updating our website, but happy to answer any questions at all, and interested in hearing from other people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katie. Really appreciate it. And yeah, any questions that you have, feel free to direct those in the chat, and Katie will answer those in the chat. And thank you so much. And to close us off today, we have Carly with Home Plate Youth Services. Carly, you can go ahead and take it away if you're ready. Oh, and it looks like Carly had to hop off for a meeting at 11. So any questions that come up for Katie, and please feel free to leave those in the chat, and we can wait to hear from Carly, hopefully at our next monthly learning session. Oh, she's present. Carly's here. All right.
She's unmuted, but you can't hear her.
Oh, let's see. Where's she at? Oh, there you are, Carly. We can't seem to hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
All
now
right.
we
Thank
can.
you so much. I will have about 2 minutes before I have to go lead our gala meeting. We have our annual gala coming up on April 2nd, but I will try to get through our presentation quickly here. Okay. Wonderful. All right. Well, hello, my name is Carly. I'm the Associate Director of Development and Communications for Home Plate Youth Services. We are an organization that operates here in Washington County. We oversee the entirety of Washington County, and our main goal is we work with youth ages 12 to 24. We have several different programs, including a comprehensive both drop-in and outreach program for youth to receive services. We just celebrated our 20th anniversary in 2025, which we are very grateful for, to be around for the last 20 years. Our goal is to provide free and low barrier services and access to resources for youth experiencing homelessness and housing instability. In 2025, we worked with about 886 youth. That number has more than tripled in the last 3 years since COVID. As mentioned, our mission is to uplift and encourage youth within that age range, and our vision is to provide safe and stable access to youth in housing. We align with something called the Circle of Courage, and that is truly the foundation of everything that we do in our work. We very much believe in meeting youth where they are at, and that is extremely literal in how we take that. Okay. We currently have 3 programs: our drop-in program, our street outreach program, and our housing program. Throughout Washington County, you might see our street outreach team walking around with these bright neon backpacks. They have resources that they use to bring out to the youth that they meet with throughout our community. Our main hub is here in Beaverton. We have a wonderful drop-in center that provides resources. We have laundry facilities. We have hot meals that are served several times a week, in addition to our additional services. Our outreach team, we currently have a team of 4, and their service population is, as mentioned, throughout Washington County, and they serve approximately 500 youth a year. Our drop-in team similarly has about 4 people as well, though I will mention that due to federal cuts starting at the federal level, we lost about $500,000 in our funding last year and had to pivot several of our programs for that reason. That did also result in the closure of our education and employment program. But we are maintaining our stability with our drop-in and our outreach and our housing programs. Our last program currently in operation is our housing program. This service population is our upper end of our youth, so our 18 to 24-year-olds. We serve approximately 80 households a year, and last year in 2025, we successfully were able to house 16 babies in addition to our youth, which is pretty astounding. We're very, very proud of. As mentioned, we did unfortunately have to dissolve our employment and education programs and look forward to internally rebuilding, stabilizing our current programs, and continuing to hopefully have those programs back in the future. If there is a referral for youth, as mentioned, we serve all of Washington County, ages 12 to 24. We do have a youth direct line that youth can call. It is a non-judgment zone that our youth-facing staff monitor. Let's see. These are also our program directors and our executive directors' information. If you're willing to reach out to our team, their information is also on our website. And lastly, as mentioned, on April 2nd, we do have our second annual gala this year, which we are always excited to have community partners at. If there are any questions, you're more than welcome to drop them in the chat, or my information is on our website.
Thank you so much, Carly. Really appreciate it. And yeah, if you're comfortable, we can also house this PowerPoint on our websites for people to refer back to later on. And yeah, thank you so much for being gracious with your time, and looking forward to that gala, hearing more about that. Righty. And that's the last of our presenters for today. And then before we hop into our Health Share of Oregon segment about Medicaid updates, I do want to share that this will be my last monthly learning session, as I will be moving back to my hometown in Wapato to pursue an opportunity that actually allows me to serve youth in my hometown community. So I'm going to miss CSN and miss leading these sessions, but yeah, just wanted to share that I'm inspired being in this session with you all, and I hope you continue to attend these sessions and share about your resources and programs. All right, and now we can jump into the Health Share of Oregon aspect. Abraham, are you here to answer any questions? I believe I saw him here.
I don't think he's here anymore, Jade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will drop the link in the chat for any of those questions to be answered at our next monthly learning session. So here is the link where you can drop those questions. All right. All right, and that will close out our March monthly learning sessions. CSN does have some workshops going on right now that you can find on our webpage. See if I can drop the link to that chat here. And I'll stick around for any other questions or anything you'd like to share for a couple minutes. And thank you all for the well wishes and the kind words. It means a lot.
You will be missed. Very, very, very much.
Yeah, and Tyler, I'll be actually housed with the Educational Service District as a community prevention specialist for the Wapcho School District. So that'll be my new position. Thank you all.